Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Adrienne, and this is our little homestead that we are working on. Exciting things are going on. I'm trying to get my seeds finished. However, every afternoon that it's been warm, it has ended up being so windy that it's being so cold that I can't get outside. I did get a few things actually sown in the other day when I had to my radishes. We'll go over all that later, but today, as you can see, this is one of my days where I have no energy and I'm very tired. So a couple of my chronic illnesses are deciding to have a party. So what I did was I knew with the rain coming, and I was already feeling it yesterday, I knew today was going to be a day where I wasn't going to have a lot of energy to do pretty much anything. Yesterday, after my husband got off work, we went to our local butcher. After we went to Lowe's, I went to Lowe's and got some more soil because we've got our green stalks. You guys, if you haven't seen that video, it should have been the very last one that I posted. So I went and got some soil for that. So we're going to start on that this weekend. However, today, what I did when we went to the butcher yesterday is we got the 1 pound meat package. I've talked to you guys about this before. So in it just comes a pound of certain items. In there come stew beef. And normally hold on a second. Sorry about that. So what I did was I grabbed the pound of stew beef that was in there, and it was probably a little over. And I seared it off with some, and I didn't even think to video it, you guys. I'm so sorry, but you'll see it later. I just seared off the beef with some beef bouillon powder, some out of fresh onions. It's getting close to grocery time, so I'm running out of things. So I'm having to use my dried minced. I'll put my dried minced onions, my dried minced garlic, some thyme, and some rosemary, and a little bit of parsley in there with it. Once it got finished and I had everything in the bottom, I deglazed it with some red wine, let it cook down a little bit, and then I put it in my crock pot on low. Put some water in it, put a little more beef bouillon powder, made some beef stock, put that in there, grabbed 2 of my vegetable stock rounds that I've shown you guys before, threw that in there, and it's cooked all night long. It is now 10:28 in the morning. When we got up this morning after we had breakfast and all, I took a can of veg, all that I had, drained it, rinsed it really, really, really well, threw it in there, stirred it up, and I'm going to let it go, and I'm just leaving it on low until this afternoon. Because you guys know that stew beef is generally, if you buy it already as stew beef, it's very, very, very lean. So it needs to go low and slow. So I've just let it go, which is perfect for today. So what I've decided to make with it is a rustic loaf of bread. Thing is, I had not found a recipe that we liked until recently. Normally when you do a rustic loaf, you do it in your bowl and you cover it with plastic wrap and you set it in the corner for a minimum of 12 to 18 hours. 12 hours, it can go up to 18 to 24 hours. We've tried that several times, and I couldn't understand why we really didn't care for it. We are not sourdough fans in this house. I've found one that we like better than the rest of them, but that's just not us. And I know there's a lot of people out there like us. It's just not something that we prefer. We prefer my regular yeasted breads and rolls and things. So I found that when we made that rustic loaf, it reminded us too much of a sourdough, and we just didn't care for it. Didn't know why until I found this video. Here in a bit, I'll go while we are in the process of letting it sit. I will go pull up the link and I'll share it with you. I can't remember the name of her channel. I will tell you when I get back. But it's Jenny Bakes Bread, something, Jenny Cooks. I'm not really sure. I'll put it, like I said, I will tag her in the comments later when I'm editing, and then I will get her appropriate name for her channel, because it is a YouTube channel. But it is actually, y'all, names are horrible, and you know this. My memory's really bad, but it's Jenny that used to have the talk show back in the 80s. So, in her time now, she's baking. This video was years and years and years ago, probably about 5-10 years ago. somewhere in that time frame. But what she did was she explained a lot. And I told my mom this morning, she's given me a recipe that I can use. I've made it twice already, and it does beautifully. And it is ready for you to fix and start baking within 3 hours. You can actually do it as soon as 3 hours. It can go as long as you want it to. But with the way that we do it, I wouldn't let it go more than 6, because then you get into, unless you want to get into more of that sourdough tasting. Fermentation is what it is. And how she explained it was, the longer it sits, the more it activates the fermentation, which makes so much sense to me. So with this one, it takes like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. The most it takes making this is actually putting your ingredients together and just letting it sit. So it is 10:30. What I will do is do this now, and then my sweet spot is 4 hours. I like to start working with it at the 4-hour mark. It gives me that crusty, airy loaf of bread, but it still tastes like a yeasted bread, not a sourdough, if that makes any sense. I am playing around with a wheat one. Once I get that one down, I will share that with you. And then eventually I'd like to do a rye. I have done all of these overnight, and they just don't turn out for me. So we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I will appropriately tag her and give you her channel when we get back. So it's really simple. It only takes 3 ingredients and water. So I'm going to move this. I don't have my microphone on. When we did the last video, when I brought my things in, I lost one piece. So we're going to purchase some this weekend. So just bear with me. I'll try to talk as loud as I can, but we are without sound today. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to pull you down, let you see what I'm doing here. All right, so I have my press and seal. That's just what I have. Use any cling wrap. I've got my Dutch whisk. This is all we need right now. I've got my 2 measuring spoons, my cup, and if y'all know me, I'm a sifter and a thing. And then quick rise. You need the fast yeast. Now, what I'm going to do is turn my water on. You want your water to get very hot. Just tap water, not boiling. So I'm using all-purpose flour, because y'all know that's what I have. And I'm going to use 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Just try not to pack your flour in too much. You guys have probably heard that a lot. So I always like to spoon mine in I have fluffed up my flour. And you've seen me, I'll go in sideways sometimes after I fluff it. But today, just because I'm showing you, I want to do this the way that I did it the very first time. Last time I did a scoop method and it worked out. I had a little more denseness to it, but not that much. So I want this one a little more light, airy, because we are going to have some really good beef juice in our beef stew tonight. And I will make rice, and I just use my rice cooker. And then I'm going to have this crusty bread. So 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then I need a tablespoon of salt. And I've got my container with my salt in it. Now, I'm going grocery shopping this weekend, but just to get enough things to get through to my next shopping trip. I've got to do a major shopping trip in a couple weeks. Tell me your favorite salt. All right, now this calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast. But I've done a heaping teaspoon last time, and it worked a little bit better. So it's a heaping 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then you want a 1/2 cup of very hot water. So I have my 1/2 cup of very hot water. So I'm just going to stir these in. So it was 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I just used regular flour. I'm sure bread flour would work. And then I've got my yeast and my salt. And then I'm just going to take my whisk here. and just get it all combined. Now this is going to be a very shaggy dough. And I'm very fortunate. I have worked a wheat one up right now. It's over in the corner. So I'm fortunate I have 2 Dutch ovens so I can cook both of these later. All right. Literally, that's it. So all I'm going to do is take my cling wrap, securely cover it with cling wrap. We had actually bought the press and seal back when my mom had scheduled knee surgery, a knee replacement, and it had gotten canceled due for one reason, and then Hurricane Helene had hit, and then she's not actually had her surgery, and then she broke her hip. So this is what we're going to do, and then let me show you where we're going to put it. See this corner back here? That's my wheat one. And I'm taking this one. They're going to share that corner. And I will see you, let's see, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Hey everybody, so it is now 3:30. You want to turn your oven on 450 degrees and put your Dutch oven in the oven as it comes up to temperature. Mine's already in there because I'm baking that wheat loaf that I'm trying. It looks great. It smells amazing, so hopefully it'll work. But what you would normally do is turn your oven on 450, get your Dutch oven, make sure it's got a metal handle. You don't want to put any plastic or anything in your oven. Put it in your oven, let it come up to temperature. As soon as your oven beeps or lets you know that it's at temperature, you wait 15 minutes, pull your Dutch oven out, and then we'll go from there. So 450, let your Dutch oven warm up. While it's doing that, you are going to grab your dough, your bowl. I'm going to move you down so that you can see my work surface here. So I do have my mat out. You want to get, this is so simple. I'm telling you, when I first did it, I was like, there's no way it's this simple. It is this simple. So get your flour, make sure you have a bowl, another bowl, bench scraper, parchment paper. You want this big enough to sit down in your Dutch oven. So I've got a good piece there. And then I have my towel. That's all you need. Now, the first thing you're going to do, put my flour here, is you are going to sprinkle your surface with a good bit of flour. Just because this is a shaggy dough, so meaning it's extremely sticky. Now, this is what it looks like. It looks like a sourdough, but it is not. And then all you're going to do is just roll it out or let it pour out. See how that looks? You still have your air pockets. You still have everything like you would see in other types of doughs. Now, a little more flour. Sprinkle it on top. See, it is still very, very, very wet, but you want it to be. Let me wash my hands real quick, because that's going to be the last time I actually touch it until I'm ready to put it over there. The reason that you do this while your oven is coming up to temp and all of that is because you're going to let this sit for a few minutes. So you want to work with this while your oven is coming up to temperature. So you're going to take your scraper and fold in some of that flour. I'll probably put out maybe 1/8 of a cup. Now, once it's done, you don't want to mess with it too much, but you are going to get to the point where you can work with it. It is going to be a little sticky because that's the type of dough that it is. Grab your parchment paper. Normally it looks a little better than this. I think I left it a little too shaggy, but that's okay. And then I did leave it too shaggy. Hold on, y'all. Adrian's struggling with this one today. We'll get another piece out in a moment. Look, this is the third time I've made this. The first 2 times did great. And now I'm going to have a hard time with this one, but we're going to make it pull together. There we go. That looks better. There. That looks more like it. Let me grab some more parchment paper after I wash my hands. And I always wrinkle it up just so that I can actually flatten it out. Okay, let me make sure my hands are good and dry. Alright. Now, and it is warmer in my kitchen today. That may have something to do with it. Just roll it around a little bit. Make sure I've got flour on all those sticky parts. There we go. That's much better. And then I'm going to put that onto my parchment paper and then set it down in my bowl. Now what this is going to do is it's going to get it ready to go in my Dutch oven when it's time. So it's already going to start forming the way that I need it to. And then all you're going to do now is put your towel over your bowl. And then, like I said, once your oven beeps to let you know that it's up to temperature, you're going to wait 15 minutes. But what I'm going to do is I've still got about 20-25 minutes on my wheat loaf. So I'm going to let this rise and sit here until that's ready. So we'll be back. Okay, so your oven has beeped. It has come up to temperature and you've waited 15 minutes. What you're going to do is take your Dutch oven out of the oven, because this has been in there the whole time. Pull your lid off. Make sure you use these, because remember, this is extremely hot. Take your parchment paper with your dough on it. Plop it down in your Dutch oven. That's all you do. Now, I would say if you want to put anything on top of it, you can. I don't put anything on mine. I leave it just plain Jane, so, because it is delicious the way that it is. Now, this is going to go into your oven for 30 minutes to start. Hey Google, set timer 30 minutes. And if you have one, I'm very sorry if I just set a timer. So this will go for 30 minutes. And then when that 30 minutes is up, I'll come back. I'll show you what to do next and give you your next step. You only have one more step. Super easy. Then you let it cool. I pulled my wheat one out. We're going to cut into it here in a bit. It smells amazing. It looks great. See? Look. So it looks great. Wish you could smell it. It smells delicious. So we're going to try that here in a bit too. If that worked out, and it reminds me, I feel like I may need to do something else because it feels a little dense, but I won't know till I cut into it because wheat is heavier, whole wheat's heavier anyways. So your loaves are generally more dense. And I just followed the same recipe. But like I said, there were a few things that I changed in it. So we'll cut it open, see what it looks like. I'll tell you what I did, and we'll look at it together and see what we need to tweak for next time if we do. So I'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, it has been 30 minutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull this out. Do not turn your oven off. You're not finished baking it just yet. So this is what it looks like. So it's very light. It is not completely done. Now, from here, this is your choice on how long you bake it. Be very, very, very careful. Pull your paper out. You can pull it out and then pull it out. I just like to do it this way. So you've got this back in here. You're done with this. And this can go anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. We like ours, the longer you cook it, the darker it's going to get. The darker it gets, the crunchier and the crispier. So this is meant to be a crusty bread. We prefer the 15. I stopped after 15 minutes. That's what we prefer. So I'm going to put it back in for 15 minutes. And then we'll pull that out and I'll show you what to do after that. Just like I said, 15 to 30, no more than 30, because then you run the risk of burning it. So I'll see you back in 15 minutes. Okay, it has been 15 minutes. My timer went off. So I'm going to pull this out and look. That's the color that we like for our bread to be. We don't want it any darker than that because it does tend to get a little too crispy. So what we're going to do, see my cooling rack over here. Sorry about that. There's my wheat one cooling off. I always use my tongs because I'm very bad about burning myself. Now, you can turn your oven off after this unless you need to cook something else. My supper's in the crock pot, so I don't have to worry about that. But what I want to show you, my pretty flowers. This is very, very crusty. So, let me show you. You want that to cool completely, unless you're going to be able, once you cut it, if it's still warm, make sure you're going to be able to eat the whole thing. If you wait till it cools completely and you cut into it, you can actually, it's good for a couple of days. Which we have actually, the last one that I made, it was still warm and I put it in a Ziploc bag. And it actually softened up the crust. And it was still very good. So we've used this for a lot of things. So we have 2 loaves. We have the wheat one and the regular white one. To see how that one picked up more, I still think I need to change this. So we're going to cut into that here in a bit. We have our rice cooker going with our rice in it. And then over here is our beef stew. So that's what's going to be for dinner. I'm going to bring you back when I cut this loaf open because I want you to see the inside, and then we're going to cut the wheat one too. I looked it up. It is Jenny Jones. She used to do the talk show back in the 80s, 90s. And for quite a while, hang on, she has a website, a YouTube channel, the whole thing. I wrote it down. It's called Jenny Can Cook Recipes. This particular recipe was from 2014. So that's where I got it from. Like I said, most of these, you work it up, you put it in the corner, you do it at night, you wait till the next day, and it's for dinner. Sometimes I can't think that far ahead. And like I said, we don't care for it when it sits that long because it does start more of a fermentation process. That yeast just really gets to going and it just gets to be too strong for us. So that's why we like it like this, and it's a quick and easy thing that way. Because some days I don't plan out my dinners, and let's say it like the first time I made it, we had pasta, and I said we need bread, and I made that, and it turned out great. So I will see you here shortly. We're gonna give it a bit. It's gonna take about 30 minutes for the rice to cook. So once that cooks, we'll cut into this and we'll have dinner. So I'll see you soon. Okay, we're going to cut these open. I'm trying to get you to where you could see what I was doing. So I'm going to use my wooden cutting board. So let's open this one first. I was looking back. I'm going to have the exact recipe measurements in my description box. Because I kept saying a half a cup of water. This was a cup and a half of water. So, here. It is so crispy. Look. Here. So it's very crispy. The bottom is very crispy. So I always have to hold it up and cut into it. So we're going to have this with dinner. I'm going to put some butter on it. It is so good. See your air pockets? Now, the longer it sits, the more air you will get in there. Now, let's cut this one open. I'm going to have to work on this one, I can tell, because it's not as crispy. It's a little more bready, which is fine. I probably need to adjust, oh, I will. I'll need to adjust measurements. But that's okay. This is the first time I've done this one and tried to adapt. See, it looks more like bread. It's very dense. I don't think it worked out well, but that's okay. We'll try it here in a bit and see what we think about it. But I do know I need to change this up a bit. Yeah, it's very, very, very dense. It's really good though. Alright, so this is what we're going to have for dinner. I've already dipped up our rice. And I'm going to dip up some of the beef stew to go over the rice. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. And then we'll have our bread on the side. So all the vegetables are in our beef stew. I'm going to cut one side because we will eat this. Because it's just absolutely delicious. So easy rustic loaf that didn't take 12, 18 hours to make. I was able to get it done in a day. Just today. So probably about 6 hours total by the time I got it ready, put it in, baked it. I probably could have baked this one a little bit longer. Probably because I was messing with it so much. And then I have butter. Butter, 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 butter. Here, we'll do this so that I can taste it for you guys. Cut me a little piece off. Got me a knife. Look at that. It is so good. And it's so easy. So, simple, in quotation marks, rustic loaf, done in 6 hours. And now we're going to work on this wheat one, because I can get that down, I think. So guys, that's it. I wanted to show you how to make this. I got so excited when I found this recipe and being able to make it. It's just really giving me something else to try and to make. Allie over at Little Hill Homestead's been doing a lot of breads. She uses her bread machine a good bit. So I'm going to try to adapt some recipes because I don't have a bread machine yet. I may get one. We talked about it. But that's where we are today. Not really sure what's coming up next. I still want to make some more English muffins. There's a couple of things I have. Actually, what's coming up next, and I'll probably bring you in to do it with me, is I need to make a cake with different flavors. I'm not sure if it's Saturday or Sunday. My goddaughter and her fiance will be over, and we're going to be cake tasting. I'm going to make up a mock meal, a mock reception, and then to get everything done for them. So that's what's up next. I may bring you with me, just because it's something that I want to do for her. So, guys, thank you so much for being here with me, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any tips, let me know. If there's anything you have found out with this, hey Adrian, if you do today, please let me know. Because I'm just now really getting into this, doing my rustic loaves, because we do like different flavors. And being able to do 1 versus 2 loaves has really been nice. Because I think that would make a great sandwich. I really want to make a grilled cheese. So that's next. So tomorrow it's supposed to be nicer and sunny, so hopefully we'll be able to get outside and I can take you with me. So guys, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do like this video for me. Share if you think you've got somebody that would like to have this too. We're going to try to do this together. We're going to work in the garden. We've got some new things going. I feel like last year gave me a little better footing to know how to do this year. And we've got a few things coming. I can't wait. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow in the next couple of days. You and I are going to spend out in the garden. So again, my name is Adrian. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. And if you aren't and you've been here with me, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for being here and trudging along with me. You know, we've kind of along everywhere, but in 2 weeks we had the time change. That always seems to give me a boost as well. I tend to go through a really bad seasonal depression during the wintertime after the time changes in the fall, and come spring, it's like there's a switch that switches inside of me. So I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm so ready. Counting down the days. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, and please take care of your neighbors. Have a great one. See you next time.